impossible. Nothing's going to, like, forget it. It's never going to happen. And I had to get to the place where I was trusting God's truths over the lies of the enemy. Then we finally got pregnant. Then the enemy changed strategy. And it changed from you would not be able to get pregnant to, oh, this pregnancy is not going to stay. Because as we've shared before, I'd had a miscarriage and it was a missed heartbeat. So anytime we'd go for a scan, my heart would literally shake, because the last time I went for a scan, that was where we're told they didn't see heartbeats, right? So I would always be so scared. And I just had to pray. I was like, Father Lord, I cannot be in this place for 9 months. Well, they say 10 months. I don't even understand, but 9 months. And I was like, I can't be here. I can't be in this place of constantly being afraid and sighing with relief every time I go for a scan and I see the heartbeats, So I got over that because I kept praying and I kept applying the word of God over the situation. Then the enemy changed strategy again. When he saw that I was not going to believe that lie, then the enemy said, oh, guess what? You're going to have the baby, but you're not going to live to take care of the child. And it was a constant thing. And I'm telling you, it was so bad that I'd go online and I'd see a post about a pregnant woman that just died, or I'd see, someone lost their baby. Like, it was nonstop. So what I did was I started to pray God's truths over my fears. It caused me so much anxiety. But the Bible also says, cast your cares upon the Lord, because he cares for you. So he wants you to come and lay all your anxieties at his feet. He knows that you're going to have tough times. The storms, inevitable, they're going to come, and this is not a curse. They're definitely going to come, because even in the Bible it says, in this world you will have many troubles. But the Lord will deliver us from them all. So just know that the battle has already been won. So I started praying God's truths over my fears. And I was like, I prayed Psalm 118 verse 7. I will not die but live to proclaim the goodness of the Lord. And so I had also been praying about exactly when I wanted to have my child, the specific week I wanted to have him. And the day that I turned that week was the day my water broke. So don't tell me God doesn't listen. He cares about all the things that you care about. The very specific, once I turned that week, my water broke. And I'd been praying about it from like day one. So we get into the hospital. I was like, Father Lord, once I start pushing quick and easy, my son came in about 30 minutes. And what they would tell you is that for someone that's having a child the first time, the nurse came to me. She was like, oh, it's going to take so much time, because you've never done this before. So, just be patient with yourself. So let's do some practice pushes. And what she was saying, I was like, you're saying you all know. Yeah, I've had a conversation with God and I know exactly what I want it to be. So once I started, she said, let's do some practice pushes. I did practice pushes. She looks like his head is here. She does not need practice. Let's go. Within a couple of minutes, people were in the room. And within 30 minutes, Zaya came. And it was very quick. Now, everything was great. So I thought I was out of the danger zone, right? And then they wanted me to go use the bathroom, so they took out the catheter. Was it catheter? English majors. So they took that out because they wanted my body to kick in, and so that I could pee myself, right? So that they were going to take me to the bathroom, so that my body would kick in and then I'll be able to pee. They need to make sure that you pee after giving you meds. I think it's oxytocin and some other things, because I needed that. And first of all, I tried to get up. I was a bit dizzy, so they said I should wait a bit longer. So the second time, they said, oh, let's try again. So I went to the bathroom. And the way they do things there, they put a cup because they want to measure how much you're peeing. So I sat down, and there was a cup there, and I was trying to pee. I was really, really concentrating. Next thing I just heard, and I was like, what's that? I was like, I think I just passed a blood clot. And then the nurse rushes in and she looks underneath, and there's another blood clot hanging in. I'm so sorry for all the gory details, but I'm just trying to make a point. So she had to pull out the other blood clot. And then she just goes, please go sit down, because she had to weigh it. So I was losing a lot of blood, but nobody realized. None of us knew. If I hadn't gotten up, we wouldn't have known that I was actually losing blood. And they weighed it, and within a couple of minutes, doctors had rushed into the room again. And they were like, oh, because you're not able to pee, my bladder is full, which is putting pressure on my uterus and is stopping my uterus from contracting the way it should after having a baby. You know, it needs to contract to get back to size. So blood was clotting instead of spilling out. And they did something and they were like, oh, don't worry, you'll be fine. All of a sudden, after they left my room, after a couple of minutes, I felt heat rising up my back. And I was just like, Banky, call the doctors, call the doctors, call the doctors. Like I didn't feel like I was okay. And within a couple of minutes, he was trying to call them. They were saying, oh, they'll be there soon. Within a couple of minutes, I was shaking uncontrollably. And I thought I was going to die. And it was like non-stop. Ask him. He was standing by the side. And in that moment, I had no control over my body. And it's the scariest experience you could go through. And the nurses came in. And the doctors came in, they were like, oh, we're really sorry. One was holding my hand, you're okay. I could see Banky with the side of my eye, he was holding my son. And the doctor just said, I'm sorry, I have to do this. And she was putting her hand in and pulling out blood clots, right? So if you know anything about hemoglobin levels, mine went from an 11 to a 7, which is pretty much anemic. That's how much blood I lost. But guess what? God won the battle. Because even in that moment where I was scared and I forgot the seeds I had planted, God remembered the seeds of his truth I had planted over the situation. God does not forget. He remembers. He remembered that I had prayed about the situation, so he was going to come through, because not a jot of his word will fall to the ground. That is just how he operates. That is who he is. That is who we are serving. It is not a suggestion. We're not telling you to gas you up. This is how God operates.